It's around midnight on what is now technically Wednesday. I've honestly had enough of the week. Literally, like, I just wish it was Friday night. I've had enough of absolutely everything, and I can't sit here or lie here and kind of half and half and go into all the reasons why, because I just think it's pointless. But everything is just so difficult for me, and I just don't feel like I'm ever gonna get better. I just feel like so much has gone on and happened and continues to happen, and things are ignored, and I'm made out to be someone I'm not, and the people that owe me a duty of care don't actually care and let things happen and ignore things when I report them, or put people on the case who aren't always nice or understanding or considerate towards my feelings. When people are trained to act certain ways and recognise signs and know how to talk to people, yet they choose not to, maybe they need their attitudes checked. I've had my dad telling me today that someone from the police rang him and gave him a hard time and accused me of asking them to phone them on my behalf. Well, seeing as I didn't even know he'd phoned them, I don't know how I managed that, especially as I hadn't even seen him. So unless he can read minds and I can control him with my mind, I don't know how I managed that, and I don't even have a clue what he rang them about. So for them to ring up and tell him to tell me to ring them personally, because apparently I'm getting him to phone up. No, I haven't got him to phone up. I don't know what he phoned up about. He's told me he's trying to tell them something quite serious and they don't particularly want to know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the police do actually have this thing called a duty of care, and even if you tell them part of a story, as police officers, they are bound to actually look into and investigate that, and if it's not their department, pass it to the relevant department and try and get more information. They can't just pick and choose what they do and don't investigate. If they're told something, they have to make a note of it, make a log of it, whatever, and start investigations. They can't just ignore it. This particular police officer has ignored me when I told her 4 occasions in June. It's now October, yet nothing happened about that. Yet it doesn't surprise me, because an inspector totally ignored me every time I said certain things happened. I was eventually interviewed on some of them, and I was told, after I had to ask, they'd open cases, yet they never informed me, which they're duty bound to, and that's the proper procedure according to my legal representative. Also, they never came to me asking for more information or giving me updates on the cases, which yet again, they're duty bound to, and they have to do that. Also, when I made it clear to certain police officers that I had more information on all of the cases, they yet again chose to ignore me when they are duty bound to get all the information about everything that I've told them. So those cases were opened and not taken very seriously, one of which I reported within days of it happening, yet the DC I reported it to chose to ignore it. Another one, I told that same DC about it 2-3 weeks after it last happened, and again she decided she wasn't going to take a statement on it, even though I told her 7 or 8 times, if not more, that I wanted to report it. So, and I've been told by a legal representative that it's not a DC's pay grade to actually make that decision whether or not to investigate things. So the fact that she ignored 2 very, very serious things, and one of them I was allowed to do an interview on 6 months later, is not proper police procedure, and it should be looked into and investigated, which it won't be, especially when that DC had complaints put in by her supervisor, aka an inspector, and it took them 7 weeks to contact me, and because I didn't answer the phone because I was driving, they decided to close the case without actually speaking to me, which again isn't proper police procedure. But as I've been told by various police officers and solicitors and other people who've tried to put complaints in about the police will cover for the police will constantly close cases and make the person who's making the accusation look as bad as possible to try and hide what actually was going on. So when I was told of this sergeant giving my dad a hard time and making comments about me today, I wasn't surprised, because the police don't seem to want to know when people hurt me or what they're doing, or they don't want the evidence. And when they do actually let me talk about it, it isn't investigated properly. They make comments about me which are very inappropriate and very unprofessional, and then they don't even really investigate it properly. And if they do investigate it, they do it one-sidedly, so it's not unbiased like it should be. So this is what I have to put up with constantly. And last September I was absolutely fine. I didn't feel depressed, I didn't feel anxious, I was okay. The police come into my life, they turn it upside down. I have officers being pushy with me, interrogating me, making my life hell, ringing me 6 times and pushing me to take an overdose, which wasn't investigated, when it should have been, and other things that have went on which again weren't investigated. And then I get told by police officers not to put complaints in because they'll always favour the police officer, because they'll investigate themselves, and even if it goes externally to the other place, it's police investigating police. That's why it's not taken seriously. Just like when that inspector put a complaint in about his own DC, it took them 7 weeks to phone me, and because I didn't answer the phone, they closed it immediately, which again is actually illegal. So they're basically covering for each other. They're making rubbish up about me, the same things about me that they've got no basis to form their opinion on. The police, they're not psychologists, they're not psychiatrists, they're not doctors, yet they seem to think they're all of them and more. So I'm not happy. They stressed me out, they've made me ill, they've made me depressed, they've made me anxious, they've made me a nervous wreck, they make me have nightmares, have sleep issues, and it's not fair what they've done to me. Yes, there are some nice ones that I've met a couple of really, really nice ones, but for the most part, there's like ones that throw their weight around and act like, the chief of police. Like, one of them told me they're in charge of 8 people. Well, I'm in charge of 27 people. I don't feel the need to ring someone up and say, I've got 8 people to look after. I've got 27 people to look after, and like when I leave work, if one of them comes up to me and they want something or they want to chat about something work related, I don't go, oh sorry, I finished work, or let me go and clock back in. I actually give them the time that they need, because that's just me, and I don't feel the need to go around bragging about it. It's a job at the end of the day. A job's a job. I'm not going to throw my weight around. I'm not going to go into work and go, oh, my manager. I might just get people in and give them a hard time for no reason. It's not me. I don't need to do that. I don't need to throw any little bit of power around that I might have. But there are some police officers that do feel the need to do that. And it's funny because I've had conversations with police officers, and they've actually said, without even me even asking, they've gone on about colleagues and stuff, and said that there are police that give other police bad names, and I said, oh, is it ones that are high up? And they went, no, actually, it tends to be uniform, like PCs that tend to have power trips. And it was actually PCs that were saying it to me. And I went, oh, so it's not like inspectors or anything like that? And they're like, no. They went, obviously, there's like, well, we discussed one inspector, and they went, this inspector does have a bit of a rep for being difficult, but not as in they throw the power around. And I said, well, from what I discovered at that point, I didn't really have any opinion of whatever, but I have found that the higher up, the nicer they tend to be, and the more of the time they tend to give you, and the more, I don't know, I can't think of the word, but I have found that there are some PCs and DCs that will absolutely throw the weight around when there's absolutely no need. Like, throwing your weight around is not going to get you the results you want. Being nice to people and just not being in the face, that's going to get you the result you want. So, some people maybe need to think about their attitudes, because there are some big egos going around, and there's just no need for it. There's no need for some of the comments they come out with, and there's no need to make out that, they're more important than anyone else, because they're not. It's a job. You've just got more responsibilities the higher up you are. It doesn't mean that, you're this untouchable person who can throw your weight around and be horrible. And, there are some that are overbearing, and there's some that are really nice, and, I've had a lot of both. And it's funny because you would think the higher ones up are unapproachable, and yeah, they are difficult to talk to them, because obviously they don't generally deal with the public, as one of them told me. But if you want to speak to an inspector, you have every right to speak to an inspector. But yeah, I'm not happy at what's been said today, and I'm not happy that I can't get hold of a certain someone, and I leave messages for them when they've asked me to ring, and then when they ring me or I get hold of them, they say they've not got messages. So why am I actually leaving messages? So it's just pointless, really. And I could have investigated the case better. Not that I wanted it to do with the case, but there you go. Just another police thing, They either don't want to know when I want things investigating, or they make me do things that I don't want to do. So it's always one extreme. But I'm not happy at comments that were made, especially when I haven't got my dad to phone up. I didn't know he was phoning up. He did that on his own volition. If he wants to phone up and tell them something serious, I'm pretty sure he has every right to do that. So I don't appreciate this sergeant ringing him up and having a go at him, because I'm pretty sure they're trained to be more considerate towards people. But there you go, a little bit of power sends people off on one. I can't even be bothered. Like, I'm just sick of being ignored when I've reported very serious things, and for DCs to pretend they're running the police and make my life hell for it to be ignored. So, that's fun. Lancashire Police have got a lot to answer for, because I was actually fine before that DC came into my life and made it hell. And I should actually stick up for them, but I always stick up for those who do inappropriate things to me. So what I've always done, and the police know that I stick up for people who hurt me. So maybe they need to look into what she actually really did, because I've never revealed what she's actually really done. But some of it can be easily found in a message that I wrote in April, and it can be proved I've wrote it in April because it's an electronic message, and it can be proved it's not been altered since April, and that's got a lot more in of what she actually did to me. And that, police are bent really, aren't they, because they've just ignored and let someone have 6 months of contact with me who made my life hell and made me suicidal. That's really helping, isn't it? Anyway, I can't be bothered, and I'm sick of the police trying to find ways to arrest me because I've not actually done anything wrong. So if they want to carry on, I've got a list of complaints and mistakes that is so big. It would take months to go through it if I had to put every single complaint in. And the only reason I've not put any complaints is because I don't have the bloody time, the patience, or the mental ability to do it, because they stressed me and stressed me out so much. I just can't cope with it. I should get treated the same as everyone else who rings up and complains about anything or tells them anything's happened. But I just get ignored time and time again and get comments like she's a time waster. It's definitely not happened. Well, yeah, because you're a psychic and can actually see into the future or into the past and can see these things, can't you? I just think it's out of order, and it's out of order that certain people, like a certain DC, ruin my life and make me want to kill myself and it not be investigated. And like, you know, everything else that she was doing to me, crossing the line, that's been ignored as well. But that's okay, isn't it? Because she's the police. As she keeps telling me, she can do what she wants because she's the police. Well done, Melissa, you've ruined my life. I want to die every time I wake up. I wish I'm dead because of what you did to me. So I hope you're happy, because I'm not happy at what you did. And I stuck up for you because you said that no one will ever understand it and that you'll get in trouble for it if I tell them everything. So yet again, I've not told everyone everything that's happened, but I shouldn't have to hide what you've done. You should actually admit what you've done, because you seem to have the balls to have a go at me and say what you really thought of me. So maybe you should get the balls to admit to your supervisor what you've actually done and what you've caused, because I don't know how you can live with knowing that I want to die because of what you've done to me. Like, I just think it's wrong that I want to die because of things you've said and done. Imagine how you would feel if someone did that to your child, because you wouldn't like it if you found out someone was upsetting them the way you upset me, and you know what you were doing to me. So I don't know how you would feel if someone you loved felt the way that you've made me feel. Like, you can't do that to people. You can't just destroy them and make them feel worthless and do the things you did. It's just not on. And it's not on me being ignored about serious things. I have every right to complain and tell people what's happened, but you won't think so, because Lancashire Police, especially Blackburn, just ignore me and make me out to be someone I'm not, which I don't appreciate. There's only one person who turned things around for a short while, and sadly he's not at Blackburn. He was the most decent person I've ever met in the place. It's a shame that other people feel the need to destroy me. I don't know how they can look in the mirror, but maybe one day they won't be able to look in the mirror at what they've done to me, because when I'm dead, everything will come out, all of the videos will be released and the press will be informed, and it's all set up ready. I don't have the videos because the police like to use their powers to illegally obtain things from me and my house. So yeah, I love being ignored, and I love the vendetta that Blackburn police have against me, because they've ruined my life, and I will die very soon. And when I do, because everyone knows I'm killing myself with this illness on purpose because of Blackburn police, especially Melissa. And I'm talking about the DC because, you know, it was made out that there's only one Melissa there, but there's a lot more than one Melissa there. Anyway, I'm going because there's no point talking about the police, because the police would just stand and watch someone murder me and not doing anything about it, because they don't like me, because there's the biggest vendetta in the world from Blackburn police, and I've got better things to do than just sit here and talk about them, because I'm just going to avoid sleep for the next 5 or 6 hours and then have a couple of hours sleep and get up for the day. Thank you, Blackburn Police, for making me not want to sleep. Bye, everyone.